Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty interesting news to go and cover over here, where we're basically seeing that the PlayStation 5 is actually a lot of brand new individual users, and it's kind of not necessarily that many folks coming out here for the PlayStation 4. Now, it's kind of the big topic of the video itself, but there's a lot more really cool stuff in it as well. If you guys know, we have the Sony financials and basically the big shareholder meeting and stuff, so there's a lot of cool details to go and cover. In case any of you guys would want me to go and cover it, leave a comment down below and let me go and know. And obviously, make sure you guys are subscribed, so if I do go and cover it, you guys can go hang it over there. But we've been seeing some very intriguing information in terms of the value, in terms of why folks are pushing towards the console, and as well with the brand new, inception of all the consoles themselves too. So we're gonna go talk about this, so make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well. Make sure you guys check out the Twitter and Twitch room down below. We have the Target links, we have the Amazon links in case you guys are also on the lookout for the console. We do have them up on Amazon now, 24/7 on the Amazon link, and let's go and dive into the video. So, as I mentioned, we had Sony come out with a really big press conference and essentially gave out all the details for anyone who has stock and has had some pretty good news, we'd say. A lot of cool details, a lot of things kind of being changed up, and a lot of just interesting things at the end of the day. But one big thing to note is that Sony is actually successfully attracting a lot of new folks. So we have some kind of cool articles. We've had a lot of folks bring this on up, and as well in this PlayStation docket saying Sony is successfully attracting non-PS4 owners to the PlayStation 5, where everyone is welcome. So basically a very intriguing statistic over here is that considering the unquestionable success of the PlayStation 4, one of the best-selling consoles of all time, Sony is attracting brand new customers to its ecosystem with the PS5, and announced during its latest financial report, the manufacturer revealed that approximately 30%, like a very big number, 30% of its newest console's monthly active users in the 3-month period ending on the 31st of December have never actually owned a PS4 before. And as you guys know, there is an active 112 million active users overall for the period, which is very intriguing to go and see. Now, as we kind of see on this one, we also saw a lot of information in regards to the general sales. So like I said, if you guys want to do a full deep dive on this, let me know. But they did go and mention, very highlight over here, engagement metrics of users who transition from PlayStation 4, PS4, to PS5, such as their PS Plus subscription rate, gameplay time, and average spending amounts are significantly higher than those when they played on the PS4, so to continue to focus on accelerating the transition to PS4 users to PS5, and as well in addition, nearly 30% of PS5's MAUs are users who never used a PS4, so with the spread of PlayStation 5, the acquisition of new users is progressing. So it's very intriguing to see this because right now, in my mind, I usually assume it's a lot of folks who kind of segue off of hey, I had a PS3, so now I have a PS4, now I have a PS5. Maybe it's just because of the fact that I'm getting older and I'm just kind of lived through it, but there are actually maybe even some kids out there who might be say 10, and they're getting their very first ever gaming console with the PlayStation 5, which is weird for me to think about, because some kids out there might actually be younger than even the PlayStation 4, or I don't even want to say it, PlayStation 3, or even the Xbox 360. So it's kind of interesting to see that the PlayStation is pulling in such a brand new user base. Now, we also have been seeing a higher uptick of other different countries starting to receive their stock. So such as places such as the Philippines, China, Japan, all these different types of mid-tier places. And well, it's intriguing to see because we're seeing different demographics finally into the gaming scene, and a lot of these demographics also are never really fully deep diving into the console market, maybe for mobile, maybe for PC, but now that we're kind of seeing these consoles just basically be so efficient, we're now seeing a way bigger push into it, which I think is really cool to see. So that basically says that means that in addition to converting PS4 users to its new gen console, which would make sense, it's the natural sense of progression. It's like you have an iPhone, so after you have the iPhone 10, you go to the current gen, same with the brand new Samsung phone or whatever it might be, and as you go through that, it just makes sense. You're at some point, if you're a gamer, the PlayStation 5 is going to be the only way for you guys to get new consoles. It's kind of a duh, but it's how it is. Let alone for, say, PC, you can sometimes have a little bit of wiggle room or just play games on lower settings and quality. At least for consoles, you have to kind of go through it as well. So just kind of go and show that PlayStation has been getting a lot more brand new users, and as well, there's a lot more folks who maybe just never even bought the PS4. Maybe they had a PS3, then they went Xbox for a while, and then they're like, well, Xbox is cool and all, but let me go back to PlayStation. There's a lot of different various options too. Because they're basically saying that this is important because it means that the popularity of PlayStation actually is expanding. and is one of the goals of the company for a while. And a good example is also the HBO The Last of Us, for example, was created to basically reach new audiences. Now, there's also a few other factors too on this, such as more women in gaming, which I think is dope. We've also been seeing a lot more mobile gamers too as well, who have transitioned to console gaming, and of course with Sony having really, really good exclusive content, such as God of War, or Ratchet and Clank, or even Horizon, and also Spider-Man 2, or people prepping up for things like the Marvel Wolverine. It kind of goes against people who are like, well, might as well go get the console, or people, go to college, go to school, and all that type of stuff too as well. So it does kind of seem like Sony's doing pretty good. Now, Sony did know that these PlayStation 5 owners who are transitioning from the PS4 are more likely to spend longer playing and subscribe to services like the PlayStation Plus, which kind of also, once again, kind of makes sense. You go get a brand new console, you probably want to play online or play the Call of Duties or Rocket Leagues or whatever. So they basically have this kind of cool insurance that you'll have a chance to, well, go and play these games and enjoy it and have an experience with it. So it does seem like the popularity of the PlayStation has actually been overall increasing. Now, they also brought up a very intriguing note when it comes to The Last of Us. And I do think things like Uncharted and The Last of Us also do go and accelerate the adoption of PlayStation because, well, duh. You have something like the HBO where there's, I think at this point, there's over 10 million for sure people who have checked out the show, probably a lot more at this point. But with that's like 10 million folks. That's a lot. We're only like 32 million PlayStation 5s. So you can almost guarantee that there's some people watching that either hear about the show or see it indirectly on like a Reddit, Twitter, people talking about it, news sites, whatever it may be, that might be like, well, I've heard this game is cool. Well, everyone has a PlayStation. Let me go buy a PlayStation 5, especially now it's getting more readily available. But as well, we've also had a big influx, too, of people who just want to get this next-gen gaming. The PlayStation 4 took a very long time for it to kind of finalize, and I think there's even, for my own self, a lot of friends who end up getting PCs at a certain point, and they're kind of like, well, do I even want to buy more stuff in general? But we also even saw some of the Reddit comments on this stuff, too, and a lot of folks are kind of agreeing that the value as well is also insane. So basically, they were saying that like the $400 to $500 price point, especially compared to say like the Nintendo Switch, it basically can play AAA games at 4K and like 60 to 120 hertz. And basically, the software and hardware has been amazing too and very well optimized. And same thing with building a compatible PC would be a lot more. Although we did see some research and made a video on it where basically PCs could be pretty much comparable as is and probably will get cheaper as time goes on. There is still just like the ease of just you buy a PlayStation, you plug it on in, and you're good to go, which is awesome. But I do agree. Like, I just feel like if you want to be a gamer and have like games at like a decent cost and effectiveness, like my PlayStation will probably be good for the next 5+ years for sure. Then guess what? You can go and easily go and buy it. Well, maybe for me on PC, maybe a $500 PC will maybe last 2 or 3 years. But when it comes to the PlayStation, things are specifically made and specifically optimized for it. So it's also probably why we're getting a lot of PlayStation users that are new from maybe PC or maybe people growing up like with their Switch because the Switch has done so well. And as of time goes on, they're like, well, maybe I want to get something a little more in depth instead of just having a Switch 2 in general. So I'm giving this over here, like just for convenience. Like I know I myself, like I'm not necessarily old in the general sense, but someone who like me, I'm 28, and I've been seeing a lot more of my general friends from like high school and college that like kind of just settle into being a console gamer too. Like I'm a PC guy, I have 3 monitors, I like making the YouTube videos, that's why you guys are here watching this. Hopefully, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. But a lot of my buds too who like are like, yeah, I used to love playing games, but I have a kid, I have a wife, I have a pretty demanding job. Let me just go get my console. If I just want to show up, it's super easy. I can sit on the couch and relax, have a beer or whatever, and get to go and relax from there too. And of course, too, as well, there's a lot of other things such as like the fact that there's just the exclusives. Like the exclusives are driving a lot more folks into it, let alone with all the other marketing schemes too as well. So I think it's kind of cool. Although they did go and say that the game time right here actually has gone down from all the total PlayStation users, but that makes sense because 2020 and 2021 were such strange, a little sneeze, sorry. It was just really strange years with people still locked down. People weren't necessarily sure if they're going to be leaving or not. Everything in between. And, well, it's kind of just weird. I mean, but at the same time, there's also been a lot of good games. We might actually see a higher number with God of War, because I'm sure that playtime went phenomenal over there. And I'm sure as more PlayStation 5 exclusives come out throughout these next, few years or so, that number's going to keep on going up and up and up. But it's kind of cool to see that people are finally ditching the PlayStation 4. It seems cool that people are finally making the stride to PlayStation 5. And at the same end of the time as well, I just think it's really dope to go and see that Sony's been doing pretty good. Now, there's always the skepticism and, the small changes in drama. Same with Xbox too, and the competitive nature between them, but it does kind of seem like gaming overall, although it might be slogging as of now, the past few years have done pretty well, and we're pretty happy to go and see how everything's been turning out, especially with PlayStation 2. So like I said, if you guys want me to do a little bit more of a deep dive of the entire, basically, everything for Sony. Let me know. I thought it was a very intriguing press review, so be on the lookout for that. And as well, I have a lot more videos all throughout today. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below in case you guys would like to go and follow. We also have the brand new Target links and Amazon links too if you guys want to check those on out. Link down below, and I appreciate you guys all so much for watching here in the first place.